Hello, hello, my dear friends, you've reached Elena's bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's barre and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too. And many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice pianist string from right within her home. She's in such big condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. They're the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yet controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression. So remember, you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Yeah, Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Anitta if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, and you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. The best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Barre and the resurgence of sanity. Today I only have Steve with me. Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
You're doing fine? Guys, we are going to have fun. We definitely miss Nick and my husband also, but we hope to get them next week so we can expand on this topic maybe, or we can talk about something else. And today we are talking about independent women and their tingles. I was really on a roll this week, and I was chatting with guys, and I asked guys about, look, there are so many things I wanted to talk about, but let me come up with a title. And then Steve threw this title at me.
Oh yeah, you came up with what you wanted to talk about. Then it expanded into so many things. And she says,
know.
"Oh, I need a title." Yeah, we get like 7 things she mentioned. So
Yeah, right.
it was a challenge.
I know, coming up with the titles, I always leave it up to you guys because I'm having trouble with the titles. There are so many things I want to talk about, and I have questions as always. So yeah, guys, remember to please like the video, drop a comment in the chat, tell us what you think about this topic. And let me just put the banner here so that I don't forget, and you guys can like, share, and subscribe. As always, it helps the channel. And tell us in the process, I might bring up some comments of yours on the screen if they're relevant comments. So yeah, participate in the chat, please. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Steve, I always had trouble when guys in the red pill oftentimes said that a woman must have genuine desire for her man. And it's not that I'm against the genuine desire, but what is it based on?
Well, genuine desire, it's been talked about, but it's actually genuine burning desire. So if you hear the acronym GBD, genuine burning desire.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So, yeah, what does it mean? I guess it means long-lasting tingles.
But can tingles be long-lasting?
Well, what is long-lasting?
Well, like last for the entire marriage until death parts you?
No. We all know about infatuation. Both men and women get infatuated. You know that high, that just, what is it? Dopamine high
Yeah.
for about the first 6 months. When you meet someone new, you're just thinking about them. Man, your thoughts go to really extreme with how great they are and all that kind of stuff. It's also known as puppy love.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking rationally, neither men nor women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that intense desire. Okay, well, that, sometimes or usually after about 6 months, you get a little bit more rationality into your thought, both men and women. But that desire can continue after that, and it should. And that's why a lot of advice that red pill or manosphere guys say, whoa, you got to, you know, evaluate a woman for a period of time in the 2 to 3 year period or length to see if it's real. Okay, that's not bad advice.
Yeah, I agree with that advice. Yeah.
But yeah, a woman can actually continue to have that desire for probably 5 to 10 years. But just because she has that and she's maintained it for 3, 4, 5 years does not necessarily predict her future behavior. Will
Yeah.
it continue? Is it enduring? So yeah. Hey, here's a funny story this morning. Some of the guys I know here, they stopped by. So I was having a conversation with 3 other guys this morning. One guy's a couple years younger than me. One guy's a couple years older. And I told him the topic today, independent women and tingles. They said, "What are tingles?" They weren't familiar with the terminology. So what are tingles? Let's just start with that.
Sure.
You want to answer that question, Elena? What are tingles?
I actually don't have an answer. I hear it all the time. I think I kind of know what it means, but yeah, you tell me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's draw the analogies.
Okay.
Okay, and some of these are physical. Okay, so when a man just wants a woman. Okay, well, there is the physical reaction his body has. Young men, okay, let's be honest, they get erections pretty regularly. And it depends on his thoughts. And okay, well, that's a physical sign. Okay, in women, okay, when they get aroused, okay, they get a little bit moist. But yeah, we're not going to mention that. So when women have that desire, that physical desire, we just call it tingles. It's kind of a
It's
polite
physical
way.
desire.
Yeah, that's it. It's that desire for physical union manifested in her body, and she's going for it. Well, it's similar in a man when he gets an erection. What is he thinking about at that time? Okay, well, what's a woman thinking about when she gets that similar desire, but it shows up differently in her body? We just call it tingles, and it's just a human trait. It's not a derogatory term.
Well, and see, she can have tingles for certain type of guys, but maybe not for her husband. or she might have tingles because they are not long lasting. They don't necessarily have to be long lasting. She can have real tingles for her husband, but then her tingles can disappear.
Well, sure. Same thing with a man. Let's say his woman has been nagging on him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not an attractive behavior. Probably not sexually attracted to her. When that happens, and if it happens on a prolonged basis, he kind of loses attraction for her. But he sees another woman. That doesn't mean he won't have the physical attraction for another woman. Okay, so same thing. You can have desire for physical intimacy with your spouse, husband or wife, or it can go away. And oftentimes, it does go away for a short period of time for both men and women. They got other things going on, or the relationship is a little bit strained. Okay, it goes away for a time. You got to repair things, whatever. It's not a constant.
Yeah. And then also when she becomes attracted to somebody else during that marriage, see, the problem I have with tingles is that the tingles for men have been controlled by the institutions. So men just can't say, "Oh, I don't love this woman anymore. Because I don't have tingles for her, I'm going to leave her." And then the tingles for women, she decides one day she doesn't want to be with this man because she doesn't experience any tingles for him, and then out she goes. There is nothing that would restrain her behavior and her decision to leave this man.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your question?
So my question is, should we in the red pill or just our society really encourage women to just follow their tingles?
Well, I think your husband, in our brief joint text interchange, okay, I'm not texting Elena individually. Okay, it's a group text. Elena, Nick, Plutarch, and me, 4 of us. So we discuss things, and okay, we were kind of talking about this issue. And what did he bring up? And discipline. Okay. Well, discipline in the classic meaning of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just say tingles, follow your tingles. Yeah, that's not good. Just like, okay, let's make an analogy for men. Men thinking with their little head. Yeah, how does that work? Not so good.
Mm-hmm.
How do you combat that? With self-discipline. Yeah, this is what I want to do. This is my desire, but I have to put some boundaries and I have to provide some self-discipline so I don't act on that.
Right. So your ideally your neocortex part of your brain has to kick in and prevent you from following your emotions, your feelings, your tingles. For both
in
men and
certain
women.
circumstances. Now, if you have tingles for your husband, great. Full speed ahead, follow it. If you have an erection for your wife, full speed ahead, follow it. Nothing wrong there. No discipline is required.
Well,
But
discipline comes in when you want to go out of wedlock. You are looking into other people.
right, that's when you have to exercise discipline, self-discipline.
Mm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I mean, you had right before the stream started, you had a really good explanation of where you wanted to go with our stream today.
Well, I wanted to talk about how the content creators in the red pill, they say always make sure that your wife constantly has tingles for you. So you have to do all the work, but because these tingles are based on what are they based on? They're based on your feelings, they're based on your emotions that are not constant, that they are fluctuating, they are constantly changing. And when she only follows your tingles, you can't really place any expectations on her because this is what you tell her to do, just follow your tingles. So
Well, they're not
there is
really
no
saying.
accountability. There is no accountability for her. There is no rational thought process.
Okay, I in general I agree with you, but it's a little bit different. They're not telling her to follow her tingles. They're saying, as a man, you need to evaluate her desire, her tingles for you, as a genuine burning desire. Okay, well, they don't really explain it, but that implies that it's not a temporary thing. She's really into you, and she proves that over time. So it's a bit more long lasting. But what no one really talks about is cycles, the ebb and the flow.
Mm.
So let's talk about the monthly cycle. Every woman, she can have, okay, this so called genuine burning desire. She can have that for you. But if she's still in her fertile years, she has her monthly cycle. And her hormones are changing throughout the month. And when men don't know this, because men go through life kind of, their hormones don't change on a monthly cycle. So they don't understand that the woman today feels different than she will in a week. So if you want, okay, we'll assume you're married. If you really want some wild sex, she's really into it when she's ovulating because her body is telling her, I want this. And then it kind of falls off. And when she's menstruating, her or PMS or whatever you want to call it, she's just not that much interested. So, okay, so her desire for physical intimacy will change throughout the month. Okay, and I'm talking about a natural woman who's not on artificial birth control. It changes. The birth control will actually change this cycle and kind of mute it. And that's a problem. Okay, so you got the monthly cycle, the ebb and flow, and then you have probably a 6-month cycle, especially at the beginning of a relationship where that infatuation, that dopamine hit, that's really intense. And then that falls off. And, then you'll have, I don't know, maybe a year cycle where, you become close for a while and then you kind of distance and then you come back together. And then you got a longer cycle, which is maybe 5, 7, 10 years. And how do I know that that cycle exists? Because a lot of people get divorced 5 years into marriage, but maybe they were dating for 3 years before. Or maybe it's a 7-year itch. Or maybe it's after 10 years of marriage when things just fall apart. It was really great in the beginning, and now 10 years later, after she's had 2 kids, oh, gee, things have changed. Okay, you're at a low point, and she bails on you. My belief is that that's natural for that to go through that crisis period, but the desire is not going to carry you through. Her burning desire for the man will not carry you through these low points. Something else has to be there.
Exactly. This was the point, and I'm glad you brought it back up because I actually forgot what I was saying before the live stream. This is why I try to write down because I have so many thoughts coming in. And I always thought that this genuine desire is not enough in women. So just relying that she is going to have genuine desire for you and wait her so that she stays consistent with that desire for multiple years, because you mentioned it's not a guarantee for future performance. She can still leave the guy at any moment. There must be something else, maybe a duty to your husband, maybe self-discipline to stay and commit just to one person and disregard that genuine desire for a while, because when it drops because it's a cycle.
Right. That brings the question, what is love? Do men and women, does a man and a woman have the same definition of love?
I don't think so. For men, it's commitment, right? When they choose a woman, they commit to her, they stay with her, they help her throughout a long period of time. They don't care about their emotions as much, or what kind of tingles or the lack of tingles they have for her over the period of time. They still stay with her. They are loyal to her. Well, and they are obliged by law to take care of her, so it could be the restraining factor too for men.
I wouldn't, okay, yeah, they are loyal, but they're not thinking about loyalty. So let's just take a marriage. Secular or religious. Doesn't matter. When you get married, it involves oath.
Yeah.
And you're swearing an oath before an authority, and essentially before God if you are religious. I promise that I will do this. We will stay together in what? Good times and bad.
Yeah.
Sickness and in health until death do us part. Oh, gee, there's cycles. There's an ebb and a flow. And I'm committed to stay with this. I swore an oath that I will do this. An oath is an act of will. Now, in general, the man promises to love his wife. She promises to respect him. But you have an oath here. So, yeah, when times get tough, what maintains the relationship, the union? It's not desire or feelings. It's an act of will. So love essentially is an act of will. I promised this. I will do it. I will stay. And we see this kind of in everyday marriage. how often do men withhold financial provision for a wife when she starts to pull away or misbehave? No, men just continue to do it in most cases, not in all.
Mm-hmm.
But when a woman gets dissatisfied, what does she do? Oh, I'm not putting out for you. Nope, my legs are closed. He's going to use that as a control.
Yeah.
Well, she promised that
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't do that, but yet she's doing it. But there are no circumstances which society believes a man can withhold his financial provision from
Well,
a
it's
woman.
fine. It's financial abuse if he withholds the money from her.
Right. Oh, so does that mean it would be sexual abuse if she withholds?
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I would say so. Yeah.
Well, we don't consider that. No, that's her prerogative to say no. This makes no sense if you stop and think about it. On the day of marriage, he promised to provide in all cases. He cannot withhold that. Never. That's a constant. That's foundational. And and they give each other bodily rights over each other. So she promises to be sexually available to him without conditions, constant. Now, yes, there's going to be ups and downs in both the financial and the sexual relationship. But to say, okay, we're done, I'm not putting out for you, or maybe once a year, gee, how would that go over if he just brought his paycheck home once a year?
Right. If she doesn't, if she only puts out sex once a year on a birthday or on St. Valentine's Day, after a man gives her an expensive gift or an expensive trip somewhere, then what about him giving her the monthly allowance or the money once a year? Okay, we had sex, here is your paycheck. Would you say, Steve, that once one party starts violating this oath and the promise that they've given each other on a wedding day, it's the end of marriage? If one of the parties decides that no more sex for you, guy.
Ideally, no. I mean, people go through these crises as long as they have self-discipline.
Yeah, but what if only
they can come back? But it doesn't normally happen that way now.
Exactly. What if only man has self-discipline to provide for you? And this is what we've seen with a lot of simps and cuckolds who keep funding their wives, even though they only get sex like once or twice a year at most. So only one party, only a man has self-discipline. A woman doesn't have self-discipline because she doesn't have to, because look, society doesn't hold her to that minimum standard that she promised during her wedding vows.
What are you saying? There's no consequences on her?
Of course there are no consequences on her. Look, if man stops providing, then he is evil, he is financially abusing her. If she stops withholding sex from him, she is a queen and she challenges him or whatever crap they come up with.
Right. Yeah, okay. So if a man does not want to financially provide, he still has to.
Yes, exactly. He still has to provide.
If she doesn't want to have sex with her husband, she doesn't have to. Whoa, wait a minute. I mean, I know this is how everybody views it, but is this a recipe for long-lasting marriages, relationships?
It seems to be, yeah.
Well, it's not a recipe. It doesn't work out.
It doesn't.
But this seems to be the reality.
It's a popular narrative, and it is, yeah.
Okay, so So we're not doing a bait and switch. We got to bring it back to the title of this program: Independent Women with Tingles. So let me put on some groundwork here, or lay the foundation. So, okay, a man meets a woman. It doesn't matter. Young man, young woman, middle-aged, middle-aged, doesn't matter. He meets a woman, a modern woman, and she's bought into this: I'm a strong, independent woman.
Mhm.
Even if she claims to be a traditional woman, she still is grown up in the society where, she values her education, her independence, her, she's worked on her career or her education or all that stuff. But she meets a guy, he's still a woman with these beliefs. So she's still going to have attraction, desire. She's still going to have tingles. She's still potentially, if the attraction is mutual and he's the right guy, he's going to have that genuine burning desire, regardless of what kind of woman she is.
Mhm.
So, is the determinant of a longevity of that relationship her desire?
It seems to be, and I've seen also in church, make her happy, happy wife, happy life. You serve her better, you become the servant leader. In the red pill, I was watching a lot of content, guys, and I can tell that I notice that you become the man that she wants. So they're trying to convert all men into the alpha guy, right? That she would experience genuine desire, but because genuine desire is not constant, today she likes you, tomorrow she doesn't, because she's on her cycle, or somebody better showed up. And if it's the determining factor for men to operate with, like you say,
Okay. Yeah.
you spice up your
Well,
desire so that you keep her happy. It's kind of the same message that the church is trying to send out there.
so let me ask kind of the question that I was trying to get at. Does a strong, independent woman with genuine burning desire make a good woman to wife up?
No.
Why not?
Well, first of all, because she's strong and independent, and women are not supposed to be that. Women were created to be a helpmate. They were created to be a follower to the man. So if she can't follow you, it doesn't matter how much tingles she has for you at this specific moment, because her tingles can change tomorrow. And then what will you do? She decides to cheat on you tomorrow. She has the agency to leave you at any moment.
So are you equating an independent woman with a rebellious woman without self-discipline?
Yes.
Oh, so are you saying that she doesn't have the qualities to remain with you through the downtimes?
Exactly. She's not a wife material because she hasn't developed the qualities, and she wasn't taught that. She wasn't taught how to be a wife, how to go with men till life parts you, till death parts you. So yeah, she's not. If your main goal is to satisfy her feelings and emotions and follow her heart, follow her tingles, she's not going to be the wife material woman that you would want to commit to.
True. I agree, but I think it's always been this way.
Yeah,
But
but
here's what
before,
I
listen,
think.
check here. Before, men were evaluating women for her qualities and not just, okay, whether she touched their pee, whether she slept with them, whether she has the burning desire, which is a physical desire, so he gets sex from her. Men were looking into other aspects of her, like how she.
Maybe, probably not.
Well, you think that
People,
men were not, well, yeah. Most men are not
I
going to think that far.
were men in the past any smarter than men today? No. What was different then?
Social order,
Yeah, one word. What was your topic last week?
consequences.
Yes.
Yeah, but what imposes consequences?
Okay, well, that's a good thing. Uh, you came to the conclusion that it's really almost impossible to impose consequences on a woman, for a man to do that. Well, in the past, what carried them through those times was consequences of there's no support system. If she leaves, she's starving and homeless. Okay, that's a consequence. She will be shamed by society.
Yeah.
That's a consequence, a societal consequence. Her husband could um, impose some consequences on his wife when she's kind of not doing her duties. Whatever, you know, could be slapping her on the ass. Okay, it happened. It could be okay. I'm cutting off your credit cards. Okay, it could be. You know what? You're not. You're restricted, or I'm not letting you go out and gallivant around as much. You know, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. There were consequences, and consequences, whether they're minor or major, but a kind of a tapestry in many areas, kept her there for another 3 months, 6 months, a year. And then women's situations, feelings, thoughts change. If she sticks around, you know what? Through those dark times, you know what? You're at the down. And it's, in a lot of cases, it's going to start to swing up. But there's no consequences, societal, otherwise, that can carry a woman through those dark times. And sometimes, a lot of times, in these dark times, a woman is her own worst enemy. She
Yeah.
makes decisions that are self destructive. And it's been my observation that if she could be stopped from making bad decisions, her future would be better off. Now, you can disagree with me, and a lot of feminists would. Okay, that's fine.
So are you saying that if she didn't make any decisions, she wouldn't create so much damage for herself?
If she didn't make rash decisions to end this because I'm not happy,
Well, in other words,
things would
if she
probably
didn't.
be different than 6 months.
Okay, Steve, I have a thought here. If she didn't make decisions based on her feelings, on her heart, on her emotions, and occasionally she turned on her brain and thought rationally to prevent her from following her heart and making all of those silly mistakes that she can make. Because what is driving women? You start analyzing content on social media. Oh, follow your heart, follow your feelings. You deserve this, you deserve that. You're the best. You can do no wrong. You do you, girl. Everyone owes you nice things, good attitude, a lot of entitlement, and women truly believe this stuff. They believe these delusions, so they gaslight each other, they gaslight themselves. They are looking for the confirmation bias to their beliefs. Otherwise, there would be more women who would be watching this kind of content. And as a result, they end up making these irrational, stupid life choices because they don't challenge what they hear. They hear, oh, somebody resonates with me, nice, I'm going to follow this girl, or I'm going to follow this man because he tells me exactly what I want to hear. They don't stop and think for a second, okay, what is behind that message? What's the context behind it? What are they trying to sell to you?
Yeah, I would agree. There's just little to keep people together when they go through the down times. And we talk about this all the time. You know, you lose your job, or you go through the dark night of the soul, or you know, your parents die, and it's a really difficult time emotionally. Yeah, there's ups and downs in life, but there's very little to keep people together during the low times in life. But we're all going to experience them.
Mm-hmm.
And making a change at a low point is not necessarily going to lead you to anything better.
What kind of change are you talking about?
Okay. A man and a woman are at a low point in their marriage, and she decides to divorce him because I'm not happy and this isn't working.
Yeah.
So she divorces him, thinking that that's going to make her life better.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes it doesn't. Or she may go and hook up with a number of guys and have the excitement of that. But the long term, we know where the long term ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's unlikely to find a dedicated partner, a long term someone to wife you up or love you for the rest of your life. If you're middle aged and you
then
get
also,
remarried.
It's
So
it's also she's stacking up her body count, and this reduces
Well,
her
right.
sexual market value. So even if
So-
a guy considers options, right, he will look into a woman with a lower body count
right.
for
But my point
long-term
is,
purposes.
okay, back to the point. She's making a change at this low point in her life, thinking the change now is going to make things better in the future. Probably not. I mean, we know from experience it doesn't work that way. If she just stuck it out and puts a little bit of effort into the marriage, you know, stop being contentious. Be more giving to the marriage. Be more appreciative. Spend less money on yourself. Have more of a servant attitude towards your husband. Gee, would things turn around in 6 months?
Yeah, and the man
Not in all cases, but in some cases. And then would she be better off 2 years later if she took some humility, some accountability, and stuck in the marriage? Could it be better 2 years later? I'm saying, yeah, in a lot of cases it could. If she pulls the trigger, divorce at the low point, 2 years later, is she likely to be better off? No.
she will definitely get more body count once she is no longer with one man. And this will reduce her sexual market value. This will actually make it harder for her to find what she's looking for.
Yeah. But now she's older and wiser.
And
So
no
now,
eggs, no fertile, no longer fertile.
well, that's immaterial. Now she's older and wiser. So, okay, this first one didn't work. Next time, I'm going to be more selective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got more requirements.
Yeah.
And you're now 35.
Yeah.
So now the man has to earn this much, and he has to be in this shape, and he has to drive this car, and he has to be, attuning to my feelings, and I'm going to be independent, and I'm going to be equal to him. Okay, wait. We've gone through the delusion calculator.
Yeah.
Now her pool of men she'll pick from is even more selective, and she's less desirable at 35 or 40 than she was at 25.
You think she cares?
So,
Look, Steve. Okay, there is a difference between her perceptual sexual market value and her objective sexual market value. Her perceptual sexual market value is whatever she wants it to be, whatever she tells herself is, and we've seen it on whatever, I think on Fresh and Fit podcast, or maybe even on Access Vegas, where guys were asking women, rate yourself, evaluate yourself, and they all say that, oh, we are all 10, we are all special and unique. So they are all perfect the way they are, without, even with their imperfections. But this is too deep. Okay, you don't go there, you just focus that they are 10 and they deserve the best man they can get. And
right,
then there is objective sexual market value. Okay, let's look, and I've mentioned it in my Substack article when I was analyzing the data for the survey for biological men. Guys, go check it out. Where I was saying that what kind of baggage she has, right? How old is she? Is she fertile, or she lost her fertility and she lost her sexuality? Then can she cook? Can she clean? Is she a wife material? Or she's the table, like a lot of them say, I am the table. I don't need to bring anything to the table.
gee, doesn't that mean I'm independent?
Well, pretty much. And as a result, most of them are independent, and they expect a man to commit 100% to them, but they don't want to do even the minimum of requirement that is expected from them to get that long-term
Yeah.
security that
Okay.
they want. Because see, the government and the institutions, they give them the false illusions that they can be strong and independent without a man, because they can milk a bunch of simps out there.
Yeah.
So why would an independent woman commit to one man when she can milk a bunch of simps? And she will be the queen. She will be the goddess that the simps are worshipping. And when she's with one man, what would she have to do? Or she will have to put out more. She will have to respect that man. She will have to comply with him.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Women make that decision all the time. But I have to take a bathroom break, so we'll get back to that later. When do women make that decision?
What decision?
Oh, to stop playing around and get serious.
Oh, when they hit the wall.
I'll be right
usually.
back.
Yeah,
I'll
they
be right
hit
back.
the wall. Yeah, we don't have a lot of people today. I think it's because Nick's Twitter hasn't been up for this live stream. I don't know if he shared this one. Nick has been busy, so yeah. Guys, tell us what you think about this topic in the comments. I will bring your comments up. It's been really quiet today. Okay, there is one guy on Twitter who says, I'm trying to find examples of the strong woman throughout history in literature. I've come across Juliet from the Saga as the proto-feminist strong woman. Kovager Cixi from the Qin dynasty comes to mind as a powerful woman. We can have a historical discussion. I think Nick would be better for that topic. I got with into a little argument with one guy on Twitter, and he was saying that strong women, they existed throughout history, who have conquered much of the Eastern Roman Empire in the 3rd century, Queen Zenobia. And then he brought up some other women who have been strong and independent throughout history, like Juliet from the Saba as a proto-feminist, strong woman, the Vega Cixi from the Qin dynasty as a powerful woman.
You know what?
I told him that a woman without, look, Queen Elizabeth, but without the man's guidance, women create a lot of chaos because they were not created for ruling the world and making important decisions.
That's immaterial to our discussion today. Do
Yeah.
strong, independent women exist, and have they always existed? Yeah. So what? Is every woman supposed to be a strong, independent woman? No. The fact that there have been some throughout history, does it mean they were happy? Does it mean they had children? Does it mean they had a good marriage? Probably not. Yeah, they exist. So what?
They
I don't
exist
care.
at the expense of something else. It's usually they can be good in their career, and I'm not saying that they can't do it. They can do it, but they have to sacrifice some things. And I've seen some strong, independent women who don't have strong families, who have never been married, or they have been married but they broke apart.
Well, these women who decide to go on the strong, independent path, the career path, oftentimes end up alone and childless in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And then they look back and say, gee, that all is meaningless. There's nobody who loves me, and I have no children. And it's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
So here's what normally happens. Woman goes through her excitement phase in her 20s. She's got her fertility, she's got her beauty, she's working on her career. And okay, she gets debt. And she's got to start her career because, she's got to pay the bills, and, I got this education and I have to use it, and I have to be strong and independent and make something of myself. And then, okay, I'm getting 30. Oh, gee, now I want kids. So now she's going to keep her strong and independent thoughts, going to find a man, but she's moving out of her excitement period into, one man. And actually, she might settle. Those exciting men are not husband material. I need to go to a stable man.
Uh-huh.
So she settles. And then she moves into her purity stage. She puts all that excitement behind her. And I'm going to be pure. I'm going to find Jesus, whatever. And I want love. So she changes how she's projecting herself into this now pure traditional woman in order to receive love. Okay, and the man genuinely might love her for that, and they might have a good 7 to 10 years together. But towards the end of that, she's really realizing, gee, if he really knew who I was, would he love me then? So the love doesn't really, his love for her, she may not really believe it's true love because he doesn't really know me. And during that time, She stopped. Okay, she probably had wild monkey sex in her 20s. In a lot of cases, not all.
Mhm.
But now in her purity stage, well, I'm not that kind of woman. I want to be loved for who I am, not my body. So she stops doing that. And so she's not giving her husband what she gave prior guys for free.
Yeah.
And he's dissatisfied with the sexual relationship. And deep down, he misses the excitement. So after 10 years, she's realizing, well, this love might be fake. It doesn't feel that good. And I miss the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
So I better get divorced and go back to find excitement so I can be happy.
Well, this is why I keep saying, once a public whore, always a whore. If she had high body count, if she's a strong, independent woman, it's also a question how she got there. Maybe she slept with her bosses, and a lot of women, when they choose the career path, they don't care whom they have to screw over. They don't care how they get it. They just want the final result, right? And they use whatever means to get there. So yeah, once they go that path, they are going to drive the carousel and have high body count. After they are done with their adventure of being a strong, independent, career-focused woman, they are worthless.
Yeah,
By the time
that's
they've reached their career point there, they are worthless as women. They have no value, because they are no longer fertile, or even if they are fertile in their 30s, there are definitely medical risks associated with those pregnancies.
yeah. Well, let's look at more simply than that. All those fun, exciting times with different men she had in her early 20s, not going to be honest about that with her husband, future husband. She's going to pretend it didn't happen. And she's not going to behave in such a sexually adventurous way with her husband. Therefore, all the stuff that happened previous is baggage. When we talk about a woman's baggage, yeah, she's bringing that with you, and it stays baggage and packed away. She tries to be this new person, but the relationship, the marriage, is based on dishonesty. And how long can dishonesty exist? It seems to be about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then something triggers. Oh, trigger alert. Have you heard that? Oh, she got triggered. Something affected her and brought up, the baggage. And, I've said a lot of this is IPA guilt.
Yeah.
Infidelity,
Mm-hmm.
promiscuity, abortion. It's guilt over something in the past that, and we all know how women can bring the past to the present. When she's arguing with a man, every past thing he did could have been 10, 15 years ago. She brings it up, and you do that.
Yeah.
Okay, she can bring everything past into the present and feel it right now. So can she not? Is that not going to happen with her baggage and the guilt that she packed away? Is it not going to come up for some reason? So back, let me bring it back to our topic: independent women with tingles. Independent women are independent because they're not dependent, which means they are rebellious against the natural order.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to acting on their own and making their own decisions, which is not always best. Oftentimes, they're contentious. They don't have an attitude to serve the husband. They come in with their own career path, and he has to accommodate her
Yeah.
career path. He's supposed to be the leader. It's his adventure. She comes along on his adventure. Well, that doesn't happen. And then she's not honest. But you know what? She's still a woman. She still has desires, urges, tingles. She can still meet a man who is the right guy at the right time and experiences genuine burning desire. That still doesn't mean he's gonna. It's a recipe for, or she has the traits that are going to continue to be there for the rest of their lives. She might stick. She might have genuine burning desire and be there for about 10 years, and then okay, that's where it comes. That's where the red pill statement, she's not yours, it's just your turn, comes up. And it describes this.
Yeah. So, would you recommend Jan? Okay, would you recommend men to pursue women who have genuine desire for them?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, but then how would you test them?
Okay, genuine burning desire is necessary,
Okay.
but it's not sufficient. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want a woman that has genuine burning desire. Don't have any argument with that. But just because she has that does not mean it's sufficient for the long term. So, don't trust a woman implicitly because she has genuine burning desire. Don't open a joint bank account.
Mm-hmm.
If you're married to her and she has genuine burning desire, don't put both of your names on the deed to the house. When you buy a car, don't put both of your names. The man's name, because now he has on paper, he owns the asset. And gee, if she wants him out of the house, sorry, honey, my name's on the deed, yours is not. You can move out. So just these little things can create consequences.
But it would also create more commitment from her part because she will want what he has. And if it's
Yeah.
like when she will be more dependent on him, and by being more dependent on him, she will want to be with him because she will want what he has. And if he has resources, if he has the house on his name, everything on his name, let's say the business, and she will be serving her mission as a helpmate. This is what
Well,
God
you know
designed
what?
for her, and she will want to be with this man because of what he has.
Well, yeah, but think about it like consequences. Makes it harder for her to just get out of the marriage.
Exactly.
It's difficulty, and encountering difficulty is kind of like a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And through the process of this, she's gonna be whining. Oh no, we're equals. I need to do this. I need to be on the deed. You're gonna have to use that one word that men need to learn to use with their woman. What is that one word?
No. I know that word because I hear it all the time.
Okay. So, and she's going to say, well, if you loved me, you would trust me and you would put my name on there.
No, in fact, actually, if he truly, truly loved you, he would say no more often to you, and he wouldn't do what she tells him to do.
And he could say back to her, well, no, if you love me and are committed to me,
Hmm.
you'll stay regardless.
Exactly.
And I'm paying the bills on the house. It's going to be in my name. You want to live here? I'm committed to this. You're just going to have to trust me. What? You don't love me enough to trust me? Well, I guess that's reason for me to say I better have control over this because, gee, you don't trust me.
Exactly. And that's a good reason for a man to replace her with another woman.
So any argument that a woman uses on a man, take some time to think about it. And you probably can flip the argument back on her and leave her with no counter argument, really.
Yeah, but then she could appeal to the victimhood. She could say that, but you are financially abusing me.
Okay,
How
let's
would
go through
how
this.
would it play out in court, let's say, or
Okay,
unless
well,
unless
before
he's
let's
very protective of his resources and everything is on his name, then yeah, sure, then
okay, let's play this out from the beginning. Okay, so man and a woman get married. They both have careers. Both are earning a salary, and it's they're around 30 and they want to have kids.
mhm.
Oh, we need to buy a house. And she says, well, we need a house with this many bedrooms and we need this and that, blah, 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 blah. And, we should buy a house. And the guy says, oh, yeah, good idea. So do they go and buy a house based on their joint income? No. He says, no, it's got to be in my income. Because if we want this, and you're going to work less because I want you to work less so you
Yeah.
can stay home with our children. Okay. Yeah. So we have to look for a modest house based on the man's income, my income. Okay. So they look for that house. She says, well, my name's got to be on the deed. No. Just my name is going to be on the deed. We're going to qualify for this house based on my income alone. And I'm committed to this. I don't want you committed to any financial obligation for this house because I want your duty should be towards our children. So, no, we're going to buy a modest house. And then, okay, let's say he accomplishes that. They buy a modest house and they have 2 kids. And then she becomes rebellious and divorces him. Okay, yeah, he potentially could get half the house, but it's half of the house they bought, not her dream house. But in the meantime, there's no way she can claim, well, it was financial abuse because he didn't let me use my income to buy a bigger house and put my name on the deed. She cannot claim financial abuse for not having her name on the deed. And all it took was a little bit of thought. And no, men, do not trust a woman just because she has genuine burning desire for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's no reason to put all of your future in her hands because you're putting it in the hands of an emotional person that makes emotional decisions.
Exactly.
So
And
as long as you retain some autonomy, authority in it, and see, nothing happened. He didn't restrict her. He didn't cut off her finances. He just says, no, this is what I'm going to do.
mm-hmm.
She's free to go buy her own damn house with her own damn money.
Yeah. She makes money, and this is how they flip it against men. Just because a woman is independent and makes her own money, and then she wants to be on the deed, but then she can even extract more if the house is for both of their names. She can try to get more in the court.
Right. So
Because of the kids,
So-
she will use the kids as a leverage, and then the kids need space, and then it's not going to play out well for the man. Just the fact that she has her own money and she is strong and independent woman, it's a red flag.
if you say yes to her, you're not going to get any more sex. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
guys. Pleasing your wife. Oh, letting her spend however much she wants to spend. You're not getting any more sex. Putting her name on the deed for the house, even though you're the sole or the majority means of paying the income, is not going to get you more sex.
Mm-hmm.
So why do it? You know what? You know what will actually get you more sex? Saying no.
Mm-hmm. Because she will respect
Because
you. She will
will
have
respect you, and then she'll want to put out so she can get more. There's an incentive.
Yes.
If you give her everything she wants, she's going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Women are kind of simple-minded.
Yeah.
We see it in the political world. Oh, their presidential choice was not elected. So what are they going to do? Oh, I know. I'm going to go on a sex strike. Yeah. What do women do in marriage when they don't get their way? Oh, I'm going to go on a sex strike.
Well, because it's the only asset that women have, technically. It's their vagina, and like this is why the emphasis is like you trade it for the best deal you can get out there, ideally, right? But they become completely wasted. They waste it on the chats, on the tyroons in their 20s, and then they become completely worthless. They waste it on their careers, on their education. They waste the only asset that they have.
No, you know what? They didn't waste it. They just didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, but they think that they are capitalizing on it. The irony
they
of
think
this.
they can have it all. No, you can't. You know what? Your biggest asset to a young woman is your fertility and your beauty and your youth. It's not your damn education, because men don't give a shit. All you got to do is be young, beautiful, fertile, and like easy to get along with.
Oh,
Not contentious, not bitchy, just be supportive, in other words. And you know what? If you're a supportive woman with a good personality, you can have all the intelligence you have. Great. You can independently study anything you want. Great. And you got your youth and you got your beauty. You know what? Now you are at your peak. Now it's the time to use all that to find the best man, marry him, and support him. And you know what? You're going to have a good life. But you can go the independent path and try and do it on your own. That probably isn't going to work out as good. But let's not expect young women to figure this out. It's never been this way. Never will be this way. Only way it happened was a father said, nope, not doing that.
Yeah. Or they will
She needed
restrict
some
them.
boundaries on her to stop
Boundaries.
her from squandering her youth. And that was the
Exactly.
father's job.
The fathers, and also I would say maybe the grandmas, the grandmothers, because I remember I was talking to my grandma and she was very strict. She was very, very religious. And it could be also a red flag, but she placed some boundaries on us while we were still little, and her boundaries worked. She was quite strict with us. You know, she would take us to church. We would have to withhold these lawn ceremonies on Sundays in a cold Russian church that was really small and tiny, out of wood. It was really freezing inside, but you would stand like for 5 hours and like you would pray. Even like she taught us that you know, you can't, if you sin, you must suffer the consequences of what you've done. And then even I would often make up some sins that I've made so that you know, I could go to the priest, you know, and then he was like, okay, God forgives you. Just so that it's I think it has something to do with the generation cycle that you guys have been talking about. And what
It has something to do with that. It has a lot to do with the modern age we live in and the rules imposed by the government, what men and women, or what men can and can't do.
yeah
The propaganda that's pushing all of us to behave in the way we do. It's kind of a messed up world, and it's hard for anybody to figure their way through.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you have good family and strict father in particular. When your dad is saying no, you can't do this, and actually talks to you, maybe brings up some potential consequences that could happen to you. This is what my dad did to me. He wouldn't say no per se because he would know that he wouldn't make any friends, but he would bring the questions like, have you thought of this, have you considered this, instead of doing what you are planning on doing, like introducing some potential consequences.
Yeah.
Because saying no today to women, I mean, good luck. It's like they will. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you have to be kind of careful, and you have to have the balls for sure, and you have to have thought of that in advance so that they don't have anything on their name, so that they can break you apart through the court system, through the law. You have to defend yourself. Then when you have that kind of protection that you've created for yourself, then you can set standards and expectations.
Yeah, well, start saying no early on in the relationship,
Yeah.
because when you say no, you're not taking anything away from her. Because it has not been given to her first.
Exactly.
Taking something away that's been given to her, some freedom, some liberty, what money, you know, letting her just spend up credit cards, and then you say, "Oh, you can't do that anymore." You're taking it away.
Yeah.
You say no from the beginning. How can it be abusive? Because
Yeah, they
you
won't
never
like
had it.
it. They won't like it. And even my dad, he was saying no quite a bit. It's just later in life he became more kind of diplomatic about it. And yeah, saying no to women is actually beneficial long term, even for women, because they realize that, oh, okay, no is no, then I can't have it. I can't have what I want right away. I have to wait, or I have to change my behavior, or I have to do some work to get what I want if I still want it. Or sometimes that whim, it will just disappear on its own.
Let me mention another way of looking at saying no to a woman. So you say, if a woman wants something and you say no, is she going to be happy about that? No.
Mm.
She going to be upset with you? Yeah. Is it going to create some drama? Yep. But you say yes, women like emotional variability and women need drama. So if you say
Yeah.
yes, she's going to create drama over something else.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
a
what?
good
You cannot
point.
escape drama with a woman because
Uh-huh.
she wants that drama. She needs that drama. So you might as well say no and let's have a drama over this thing.
Exactly. Because if you say yes to her all the time, she will always find something that she's not happy about. And it's not necessarily because she wants you to fix that specific problem, but just because she wants to whine and she wants some drama, like Steve says. It's so true. I mean,
So,
I did it. Even I do it.
Elena, okay, here's another way to illustrate that. Do women want stability?
Well, I can't speak for all women, but I definitely want stability. Yes.
I'm gonna say no. You
Why?
want you want security,
Okay, security.
but stability? No. You often act emotionally, and you have this cycle, and you get off on some focus, and then your husband Plutarch says no. There's a lot of emotionality and ups and downs in your relationship, but he provides this boundary, and it's not it's not really a constant. And that way, I'm saying it's not stability, it's security. And that's foundational. It's you have a very secure relationship, but there's a lot of variability in emotions and the dynamics from day to day, from week to week.
Mm.
And there's a lot of cycles going on.
Yeah, because my
And
husband says that it's actually quite stable. So I don't.
it's foundationally stable because it's secure.
Okay.
But there's a lot of emotional variability, which he's very good at managing you because he lets you have your emotional volatility,
Hmm.
and you know he's trained you to check with him, and he tries to clip off some of the excesses and put some restraints at the bottom, but let the variability happen. So, okay, he tries to nip the cycles to let them to cut them off at the peaks and cut them off at the valleys. And yep, okay, you're allowed to be volatile in this
Range,
band.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it depends on how you define stability. Overall, yes, it's stable.
Well, it's boring. I mean, we don't do a lot of things, and he doesn't have to take me out to dinners. We don't do even some of the prescriptions that some red pill guys are offering. Oh, you must take her on vacation. Oh, you must do this. You must do that to spice up the interest and her genuine desire. Like you call it dance monkeys dance, right?
Yeah, okay.
He
That's
doesn't.
true.
I mean, he doesn't have to do it because
Oh, but why? Because you find another outlet. You
mhm.
come on the internet and you create drama and you stir up things and want to go into controversy and have discussions and have your social outlet.
Mhm.
and, and that gives you the emotional variability or the stimulation, let's say, that you're not getting because you don't go out and socialize that much. but there is an outlet.
Sometimes, but it's not.
I know,
It's
but
mostly
you know what I
family.
mean.
Yeah.
You have to give a woman an outlet for her emotional variability and her passions and something to do. Because when a woman doesn't have that, she's going to go stir crazy at home. And then she's going to get bored. What happens when she gets bored?
Oh.
She wants, okay, I'm going to divorce and I'm going to go for some
Well, she
excitement.
starts having some crazy thoughts, and this is why I love reading. I spend most of my time either researching something, reading, playing the various musical instruments, talking to you guys. So, teaching fitness, exercising. I'm trying to have some fun to occupy my brain because it's easy to go crazy. But if you just consume social media content, and there is a lot of
Okay. I have another thing to ask you. So a friend of mine told me this morning, yeah, I listened to your podcast. Boy, you're the one of the biggest woman haters around. He said that to me. Man, you really hate women. Well, is he right or is he wrong?
I think he is wrong because actually the ones who hate women are the ones who are appeasing to them, who are giving women what they want because they don't care about women long term. In the long term, they only want to get the short benefit out of saying yes to her, because by their logic, if they say yes to her, she will spread her legs and they will have sex with her.
I wouldn't say they hate women. They're just going with the flow.
Well, they're going
Whereas
with the flow, but they don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the long-term consequences that
right.
this behavior might have on women and also on them. So they think that they are winning by saying yes to her because women on social media and elsewhere say that they want men who provide them with emotional availability, all of the things that women want, all of the requirements, everything. Women are lying to men on social media, and they are lying to themselves too. They may not realize that that's what they are doing, but this is essentially what they are doing, because they would have real respect for a man who would say no to them and who would think about the consequences, who would be more rational, because women operate on their emotions. Men should be operating based on their rational thinking with their big head.
Yeah. Well, my response to him was, no, I love women. I just recognize the nature of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of women, I try to understand it. And yeah, just because I think this is their nature, and I've seen plenty of examples of this, doesn't mean I hate women, but I'm going to still love them or love a woman potentially, given their nature. I just have to understand it. Okay, my mind operates differently than most men.
Well,
What I mean is, I have a very analytical mind because I, fairly smart, and I went to school for mechanical engineering, so I think very analytically.
Yeah, and men need to think rationally. It's so sad that most men today, they operate based on their emotion, just like women. This is why women, they say the popular thing that needs to be said on social media just to get more clicks and more likes, but they may not actually mean it, or they don't know any better. They just don't challenge it because everybody else is saying it. They are saying it too,
Yeah. And you know what?
Nice. Finally, somebody here in the comments. Hold on, Steve, 1 second. Let's read this comment. Seeking to hold women accountable and to make them more desirable is not hating women. Here you go, from Tacticus.
Yeah, and am I aware that if women watch this, are they going to like what I say? No, they're not going to. Is it going to piss a lot of women off? Yes. Are they going to refuse to deal with me? Yeah. But could it be, I'm really pissed off at that guy, but yeah, I'm still kind of attracted to him and what he says. Yeah, that's also
Well,
totally
watch
likely.
Nick.
Now I'm an old guy, so who knows?
Watch Nick. He keeps talking about how women approach him in the public places, and he says some rough things to them, and they still are. Oh my god, Omni Man. We miss you, Nick. I don't know if he's
Yep.
watching. He's probably busy now. CDL is here. Great to see you guys. Okay, we have very few people today, but thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's a little nuts and bolts today.
Yeah, it's good discussion.
Yeah.
So why don't we summarize? Why don't you summarize the conclusion? Because you're always taking notes.
Oh,
okay,
God, so many
Miss
notes
Note Taker. Go through your notes and pick out the 3 most important things you wrote down. And let's see if your note taking is effective.
Oh my goodness. It may not be as effective. Okay, hold on. Because I was trying to write what you were saying so that I wouldn't have to rewatch it because I think of writing a Substack article. And in those articles, I'm mostly just paraphrasing what you guys are saying. Okay. Well, the most important points for women, I would say that, ladies, you have an expiration date. If you waste your fertility, your beauty, and your sexuality on pursuing your career, your independence, you will end up being a run-through whore or a single cat lady with boxed wine, surrounded by the miserable girlfriends. And then,
hold on.
well, you asked me to summarize.
I can't let that one stand the way it
Okay.
is. You say, if you act this way now, in the distant future, it's going to be this way. Man, acting now with way future consequences is supposed to motivate women? Not a chance. Say, ladies, you can act this way now, or right now, you can use your assets to achieve happiness in these things that you're going to want for the future, but you can enjoy it now. You got to keep the decisions in the
Present.
right now. I can have a man who will love me, and I can have wild monkey sex with a man who will love me. And that less desirable man, you know what? He might be the man and have the capability of being a Chad for me. And I can have that now. Okay, that's a positive message.
Well, this is how they get it, because it's through that positive message you can enjoy. Why would you want to commit to one man when you can have multiple guys? It's that excitement, that experience.
Oh, man.
It's
That's
very hard to sell the positive message to women. Like, they need to realize that the future is coming to all women. At some point, their beauty will fade, and then what will they do? It's something that my grandma was talking to me about. Even my mom was telling me those things. Like, women need to hear this. I don't want to fluff it up for them and say, like, okay, lady, if you want the benefits now, you can have it all now, because she will be very short-sighted.
No, you can have pleasure and benefits now while you are still on the path to long-term good benefits. You can have some now and more later. Instead of if you do this, you're gonna have shit later. Nah, I can still have fun now.
Well, and this is what they do. This is what they choose to do. They choose to have
Yeah.
fun. They choose to have fun now while they are in their 20s. And then in the process, there was a video on Instagram that I shared with you. This girl, she used to have red hair. I don't know what happened to her hair. Now she looks blonde, and she was saying that I'm in my 20s and it's my choice to be single. And I'm
Yep.
beautiful, and she keeps saying how beautiful she is. I think that she's full of herself, but then she calls women who call her narcissistic Karens. So I'm a Karen in her mind, and yeah, she it's a choice for her to be single. And at 20 years old, they can choose to be single. They can choose to do whatever they want to do. It's like the moment that they start aging, they start losing their fertility, their sexuality, and it happens to all women. It's unavoidable consequence. The natural law, it's the law of nature that is coming for them. Just disregarding that, I think it's just so absurd. It's
Okay, so
really,
what are the other things you learned today? Other
okay.
important points.
So once you commit, you have to stay with the man. Don't jump, don't move from the relationship. There is nothing better for you. Make it work. Make your relationship work. And I'm talking to women in particular, because they are the ones who initiate most of the divorces today. Like once they select a guy, once they become married, stay married. Stay loyal to this guy, suck his dick, do whatever he tells you to do. Be with this man. Because there is nothing better for you out there. The grass is not greener on the other side.
Yeah. Are you saying the grass might be greener on your side if you fertilize it?
Exactly. Put some fertilizer there and see what happens.
So be a cow. Be a cow and shit where you eat.
I mean, if by shit you
It's
mean
a cow.
by shit, it's
No,
yeah,
a
I
cow.
get your
A cow
point.
walks around the pasture, and he shits there, and you know what? It makes the grass green, and the cow is eating the grass in the pasture. It's probably a
Exactly.
bad analogy,
Well,
but
let's
it's
look at
funny.
it. Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny analogy. I love it, Steve. Let's look at it in the marriage. A woman fucks her husband regularly on his schedule. She's compliant to him. She's loyal. She respects him for saying no to her. And then what? It's a prosperous marriage. She's
Okay,
happy.
you've
He's
come up.
happy.
What's your third point?
Okay, the third point. Well, the third point is for men, really. Say no to your wife. The more you say no to her, the more respect she's going to have for you. Wow, people have woken up. I think I think we started our stream too early today, because now we have more comments. Luke Perry is here. Great to see you, Luke. Okay, heading south for the winter. Gotta stop making. Okay, nice. Safe travels to you, Luke. Okay. Okay, CDL says facts. I'm usually watching from the Raptors. Here, some comments for you, Steve. Steve is a tactician. Wish my vocabulary was up. Yeah. Okay. Fake human is here. Great to see you, fake human. Young people, enjoy your youth. Be happy while you are still young. Do what you want to do and follow your heart's desire. Oh, Steve, you're going to have fun with this one. But remember that God is going to judge you for whatever you do. There are consequences to their actions. If they don't experience them right away, the consequences will come for them maybe in a few years. In the case of women, they come quite late, when women usually hit the wall. This is when some women start realizing that they've messed up. But because our society doesn't place higher standards for women, it holds men to higher standards. It expects men to provide, to take care of women. The laws are structured that you men have to do your best, you must satisfy her, right? But nothing says that a woman has to please her husband, a woman has to do certain things in her marriage to make her man happy, right? We don't see it. So when women do whatever they want to do, the consequences come for them when women least expect them. When they have high expectations for men after they've gained all of their careers, their diplomas, their degrees, pedigrees, all of that stuff, and then like reality comes crashing on them. It's funny to watch, and we did some videos, guys. You can browse through the channel to see when we were talking about what happens in China, the leftover women, right, Steve? We did an episode on that.
Right. That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go watch that one. I think you will like it.
The older they get, the more educated, the more money they make, the higher their expectations. But the lower their, as they age, their sexual market value goes down, but yet their expectations go up, and they end up unmarried, alone, lonely, and childless.
Yeah. That's so true. So true. And they are surrounded by their single girlfriends. And this is coming back to your article that you've written a long time ago, guys. I did mention Steve's article. I think it was in the recent Substack article, or maybe before the statistical analysis article, where he was talking about team woman, team man, team her man.
Yeah, a woman is on team woman, and women think collectively. Oh, the hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
The woman who's different, or your woman, if she has, genuine burning desire and is committed to you, now she went off team woman, he's on team her man, devoted to one man. Doesn't mean she's not going to switch teams, go back to team woman. That's what you call a divorce.
Yeah, when she switches back to team woman. Or she was never really on team man programming.
Oh, bullshit.
Where look. No. When she marries a man, she doesn't have to be team her man. She can
I disagree.
Be team woman.
Maybe. But let's assume that she was fully committed. She believed this. She was committed to this for 5 years. And then she changed her mind. Does it make that behavior towards him during those 5 years an act? I think not.
No, I don't.
She changed her mind.
That it's an act, but a lot of modern women today who are single, they operate under the mindset of team woman. They expect a man to come and comply with her frame, with her mental point of origin, and they don't want to be on his team. They have the sisterhood, they have the social media, they have the sim card that they don't want.
That's very true. But I'm not talking about those women. I'm talking about the good woman you meet. Oh, good wife material. I'm going to wife her up. And our life is going to be happy forever because she doesn't believe in divorce.
Mhm.
She's a good woman. Yeah, right. And then, okay, it might be that way, but there are no guarantees. So, let's bring this to a close. I'll say my 3 points. Okay, an independent woman, first of all, if she's independent and thinks that way, she's rebellious. And she's now not, she's going to do what she thinks is in her best interest at whatever time based on her emotions. So she's not really well, she cannot be trusted. No woman can really be trusted. You can love a woman without fully trusting her. Secondly, genuine burning desire is important. It's necessary, but
Mhm.
it is not sufficient for determining whether you should trust a woman to be your financial equal in all aspects of your marriage. No, never do that. Say no. You know what? It's not, a man's required to love a woman, not trust her with your future. Don't trust her with your future. Hold
Mhm.
on to that.
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
recognize that men and women approach things differently. My third point is don't be afraid to say no to a woman from the very beginning, because you will not get any more sex from an independent woman by saying yes to her.
Exactly. These are great points. I'm glad you brought up the genuine desire not being sufficient, because this is the one that I keep hearing in the manosphere all the time. Oh, spice up your genuine desire. You need to do whatever it takes so that she has desire only for you, and then you have to out alpha all of your other guys that she've dated. You know how hard it is if a woman has very high body count to out alpha her prior alphas that she has encountered. I mean, women expect a man to be strong, right, with a dominant masculine presence, to be even better than this summary of the guys that they've dated before, the qualities that they liked in those guys. They expected them one man to have all of those qualities now. So how realistic is that? Like, even a decent man, that he's going to be that guy that she wants. Yeah, and then CDL here wrote, women think sex is a chore, but it is not. It's actually their job. Exactly. We need to bring back the duty. The duty, because men still comply with their masculine duties in a marriage. What are the duties for women? I think being a dutiful person, realizing that there are certain things that you must do in a relationship, regardless of whether you want to do them or not. Look, men provide regardless. Maybe some days they don't feel like they want to. Maybe some days they are sick and they don't want to do the job that they have to do, but they still do it because it's the right thing to do. Maybe women could put out there as well and say, okay,
Okay.
I don't want to
Okay.
do it now, but I know it's the right thing to do for my marriage, for my relationship, so I'm going to do it.
Yes. Good idea. And women should learn that. Women really don't, modern women do not have a sense of duty. And man, does a man want duty sex from his wife? Only if he's desperate and he's got none. No, he'd rather have some enthusiastic sex. And so you got to cultivate this idea that a woman, every woman, even your woman, yes, she can be pure. You can love her for her personality, but you still have to say, you know what? You're a sex object to me. And you know what? Sometimes I'm just gonna want that body. and I'm going for it with an animal instinct. So you got to give her the freedom to kind of be your personal slut because she experienced that previously. Bring that
Exactly.
excitement into the marriage. That's
Yeah.
my
And fertilize your own grass. I love that analogy. Here, Tacticus left a comment, guys. I believe my ex lies of fidelity, and he believed that divorce was never an option, that suddenly became one, and my blind faith was not helpful. Proving your point,
yeah.
Steve.
Well,
Yeah.
that kind of says, you know what? His wife, when he was when she was his wife, she was wanting love and she was in her purity phase. She didn't really get to experience, and that's code word for um, kind of being a sexually wanton woman within the relationship. Okay, women have these two aspects. Bring them both into your relationship and love her for both and accept her for both. And then theoretically, maybe some of these marriages would work.
Yeah, I know that some content creators will disagree with sex being a duty from the female side, because men don't want a woman to have sex with them out of duty. They want her to have genuine desire for him, and that's the ideal, right? But then it's based on on her feelings, her emotions, her tingles that fluctuate because they keep constantly changing.
Are you saying a man shouldn't base his future on her feelings?
Exactly my point. Because look, some days I don't feel like I want to have sex, and my husband wants it, and then I'm like, okay, it's like it doesn't cost me much to spread my legs for my husband and have sex with him. At least one of us will be happy, you know. But it
Uh,
requires some. It's not being selfish, you know, because if a man
well,
wants it,
the
then
other
you have to give it to him.
the other thing that happens after you're in the act, you might get into it and you might
Exactly.
actually enjoy it. You're not
Yeah.
going to be it's not going to be duty the whole time.
Hmm.
Sometimes it takes a woman just getting started really makes it, oh, okay, I guess this is good. It happens all the time, right?
Yeah, it does. And this is the message to women, really, guys. Somebody says TMI, TMI. Look, I'm bringing it up so that women can see that uh, there is nothing wrong if she doesn't want to have it at the moment and the man wants it, because men tend to have higher sex drive. And if women don't want their husbands to watch porn and cheat on them, then they have to be those whores. Be a whore to your
Oh,
husband.
hold on. Tactica says sometimes some days a husband doesn't want to be loyal. Okay, that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to discipline himself. Be loyal. He has to discipline herself. Be receptive.
Hmm.
And is this too much information? Man, this is just normal stuff that happens in a marriage. Every woman, every man. We're not talking anything explicit here.
Yeah. It just
It's
doesn't.
just how relationships go. How women are. Sometimes they're not in the mood, but
Yeah.
she can still make a choice, an act of will to be receptive. That's
Hmm.
all. No big deal.
Steve is right about obligation can turn into passion. Yeah. Because what I notice in our society is men are supposed to provide, to take care of their women, to take care of the household, to take care of the children, right? But women, they have no obligations, no duties, no expectations placed upon them. And there is a problem with that, because it leads to the lack of self-discipline in women. They become very selfish, very solipsistic, very self-focused. They are only concerned about what a man gives them, and we see the proof of it every single day.
Well, another way to say that is men, most men, not all, but most men have a sense of duty that's internal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Most women do not have a sense of duty that's internal. It needs to be, it's a boundary placed on them. Their sense of duty, a woman's sense of duty is focused around her children. And okay, it's instinctive. Sometimes even that sense of duty is misused. For instance, when she puts her children above her husband, if she does that out of a misplaced sense of duty, her children will end up worse off because she just removed their father. She removed her boundaries, her support, the discipline, the training, the teaching of children. She just screwed things up.
Yeah. And not even often her children are her priority. She puts herself first. And Donovan, last week, I couldn't attend any of the live streams this week, guys. But we watched a video that Donovan was analyzing where a woman would easily sacrifice her kids just to get herself out of trouble so that she wouldn't be arrested. And she would...
yeah, that's rationalization. A lot of times women rationalize, if I do this, I'm actually putting their kids first, but they're actually rationalizing a reason to act in a selfish way. Looking out for their own interests.
They would get themselves in trouble, but then they would use their kids to get themselves out of trouble.
Well, of course. And this is for my kids, because if I got in trouble and I wouldn't be there for my kids, that would be bad. So I have to remain free. And so if I actually put the blame on my kids so I can remain free, then I can be there for my kids and save them from the consequences of what I just accused them of. So
you know what?
This is all good.
I still believe that the custody for kids should go to the fathers by default. Because women do all sorts of crazy stuff. And then once they divorce the guy, they go crazy into this adventurous path. The kids are the ones that are suffering because there is no stability there, because she's constantly pursuing her tingles, her heart, her emotions. She's ruining her kid's life.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to bring this
Oh my gosh, seriously? I need to go watch that show where Donovan showed us a woman who put her kids in an oven.
Yeah, I saw something about that. That stuff is too disturbing for me to even want to know about.
I know. I really don't want to watch it, but I might watch it just for so that I know. Sometimes I watch the stuff I don't want to watch, guys. Well, anyway, yeah, thank you, Steve. It was a very interesting discussion. And guys, remember, we start at 9:15 in the morning, okay? I know it's a little early on a Saturday morning.
So we've gone 2 hours.
Yeah, we've gone pretty long today. So, yeah, let me share the schedule of our meetings here. You probably know by now, but in case somebody new is here, here is our schedule. So we do the deep dive conversations with me and the Resurgence of Sanity guys. Usually we have Nick with us, and sometimes my husband, Plutarch H. And then on Mondays and through Fridays, join me for the workouts at 9:15 a.m. Pacific. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, guys, on their channel, on the Resurgence of Sanity, they run 2 very interesting videos for you, the live streams. at 5:45 p.m. Pacific, at 7:45 p.m. Central, and at 8:45 p.m. Eastern. So they are talking about the narratives and the countercultural sexuality. So yeah, please subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. Support the guys. Leave them your comments, and if you have any topics that you'd like guys to talk about, or if you have any questions, please leave them a comment. They're usually very responsive, right, Steve?
Yeah, well, we talk about a lot of things that are mentioned in the Red Pill. Well, we go pretty deep, kind of explore it from different angles. Yeah, it tends to be somewhat intellectual and
Dry.
called very dry.
Dry.
But you know what? We enjoy it. So yeah, if it suits you, watch. If not, well, that's your choice.
Yeah, I definitely love your deep dive conversations when you bring up some data and analysis. I think I'm probably the only woman who is watching your shows, guys.
Yeah, you know what? We don't have many women groupies. Only Elena.
Yeah,
and
so
she's married to one of the three of us. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for your comments today. It was an interesting conversation, right, Steve? Very interesting topic. And we are looking forward to seeing you next time. Okay, remember to please like, share, and subscribe on the way out. And we'll see you next week. Okay, cool. So I'm ending the stream here. Bye.
Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.